We got something special for you. There's a lot of stuff that we've done in 4 years, and today's video, a little bit different. Something that a lot of you guys have been asking for. So today is the day. We're not gonna be in the shop, we're gonna be outside. We got something special for you. Let's get to it. Today, we're showing you the whole fabrats fleet. Today we're gonna run through all of the cars that I built in the last 4 years. There's a lot of stuff that we've done in 4 years, and this isn't even all of them. I've got Darwin's Jeep that's not here. I got my buddy's Toyota that's in Salt Lake. We're gonna run through the builds that we've done, then we're gonna take you and show you the builds that we plan on doing this year as well. So let's get going. This old truck, it started everything. This was the very first project on my channel. You've seen me straight axle it, you've seen me do a bunch of stuff to this truck, and then I've neglected it. I mean, we were doing lots of other stuff, but I miss this old truck. So this truck was my main recovery vehicle for a long time. It did a lot of things that it probably shouldn't have done, but it did them easily. And we just neglected it and beat on it. We hunted in it, we fished in it, we camped out of it, we took it on the Rubicon. We went lots of different places in this old truck, and it never let me down. It was a good old truck, still is, but it needs some love. So let me tell you the plans for it. My game plan for this is 1-ton running gear. I have a Hero transfer case to put in it, and 37-inch Firestone tires to go on this thing. We're gonna do a little upgrade, and we're probably gonna fix some paint that's fallen off of it. So this bed, I've never loved this bed. Been okay, but I haven't loved it. We're gonna rebuild the bed and the spare tire carrier. We're gonna fix it the way that I have it in my brain. I can't really explain it to you. You're just gonna have to wait to see it, but it's gonna be cool, it's gonna be worth it. This truck is gonna come back to its glory days soon. My favorite thing about the old Toyota probably is just the reliability of this truck. It's always got me home, it's always done everything I've asked it to, and it's never left me stranded. It's always just done it. We've been stuck in it, but it's always self-recovered and been able to get out. It's just a good old truck. Hard to beat it. My second real project on the channel was the ultimate rock crawler, the old FJ45. This truck's awesome. This is the best thing I could come up with in my head to do with this truck. And I got tons of hate from a lot of Toyota purists at first. They thought, you're crazy for cutting up a clean old truck like that. But later on, I won them over. As you can see, she turned out pretty dang good. So people liked this truck so much, we took it to King of the Hammers a couple of years ago and inspired some Toyota guys, and they built another one and took it to SEMA last year. It's not exactly like it, but it's pretty close to the same. Pretty flattering, really. I acquired this old truck back when I was working for a telephone company. We got the opportunity to go in a whole bunch of backyards and around, and I seen this old girl. I actually seen Michelle's Jeepster first, and I went and talked to the guy, and he's like, that Jeepster's pretty cool, but if you lift that tarp up, there's something even cooler underneath of it. So we went, we lifted it up. It was an FJ40, well, it was this FJ45 pickup. I asked the old guy, I said, you'd be willing to sell that thing? He said, well, I'll tell you what, son. That's what he called me. He's like, why don't you go home tonight, research how much those things are worth, and come back and make me an offer on it. So as soon as I got into cell service again, I started doing some research, and my hopes and dreams all went out the window because these things are worth a ton of money. And there was no possible way I was buying that thing. So I went back the next day and I told him, I'm like, well, I can't physically pay you what that's worth. Just can't happen. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough things to sell. And he actually came up with a price, and he's like, look, if you'll give me that for it, I'll take it, which is about 1/10 of what it was actually worth. He's a good old dude. I love that guy. Billy Kahn, the guy I got this from, I consider him a good friend now. He's taught me a whole bunch in a very short time about life, how to treat people, and just life in general. just one of the good ones. So I got it bought from him, and we turned it into the ultimate rock crawler. We're currently working on a start to finish video of the ultimate rock crawler. It's a lot. There's like 50 videos, I think, of us building this thing. But it's coming. You're gonna get to see this thing start to finish in one video. Next on the fleet, the tow truck. One of my favorite things I currently own to drive, brings a smile to my face every time for a couple of different reasons. One of them is the motor underneath. She runs really good. And until last week, I'd never been stuck in this thing. One of my favorite things about this truck is the way that it looks. It just looks really mean, like that it means business, that it wants to go to work and do stuff. That's kind of what we were going for when we built it. That's why we stretched the front end so far forward. We moved a lot of stuff around to make it look the way it did, and also to work the way it works. This old truck's come a long ways from my dad's old truck that I got. It was a beat up old used farm truck basically when I got it. It's kind of like putting it out to pasture being mine. I know you guys think I beat on this thing and rev it up a lot. You should have seen my dad. Gosh, I'm gonna cry. For the hardcore fans out there, you guys know where I got this truck. For those of you that don't, this was my dad's truck. So I inherited this when he passed away, and it's always been a tow truck of some sorts or another. He used it for hauling logs, cars, different stuff around that he was playing with. And I turned it into a hardcore off-road tow truck. So I love this truck, not only because it's awesome and it does everything I want it to, but because it was my dad's. So on to the Ratmack. This truck is just an old truck. When I got this thing from Michelle's brother, it was a rat-infested nastiness, and he'd cleaned it out fairly well before that. It was gross. But we've turned it into something pretty cool. I think for not finishing any projects, we finished quite a few of them. All you haters out there that say I don't finish stuff. This one even got painted. Not your guys' kind of paint, but my kind of paint job. What you're looking at here is a 49 Chevy truck setting on an 05 Dodge Cummins chassis with a 97 12-valve Cummins under the hood, a 6-speed transmission hooked behind that. We've got a bed off of an Isuzu rollback. This is a whole bunch of parts and pieces that I took and threw in one pile, and they turned into the Ratmack. This truck drives down the road awesome. We've put roughly 2,000-ish miles on it since I finished it. Well, finished is a loose term around here. Doesn't have hood latches. Well, currently it has a hood latch. It's a ratchet strap that holds the hood down. I haven't got to that part yet, but eventually, when I have a minute, I will get to the hood latches and put them in. Today, I'll show you one of my favorite things about this truck. Back in the day, this was an old farm truck. Someone built gun holders for a lever gun that they put in here. Lever action, like a 30-30, a 45-70, 357. I don't know what gun they built it for, but an old lever gun. One of my favorite features. I like the power windows we put in it. I like the leather seat that we put in it. I don't really dislike anything about this truck. It turned out flawless. It drives down the road extremely well. You can cruise 80 miles an hour on the freeway with a car on the back of it. It does everything I want it to, so turned out good. All right, on to my daily driver, the free truck. A guy down in Nevada called me up, emailed us actually, and said, hey, I got this 89 Chevy truck. Hasn't ran in a long time. Are you interested? I'll give it to you. I'm a sucker for free stuff. I mean, a good deal's a good deal. You can't pass that up. So we went and got this old truck from him. We put tires on it. We put a fuel tank in it. And then the list just goes on. I think my last tally, I was at like $11,000 that I've put into this free truck just so I can drive this old girl. The thing that I like the most about it is it's just reliable. Does it do anything really well? No. The window falls off the track, the doors don't shut. The AC blows ice cold in it, I'll give it that. It steers terrible down the road, but it starts. Every time I want to go somewhere, I get in this truck, it just starts and goes. So I just keep driving her, and I keep buying parts for it and putting them on it because it's a free truck. You gotta drive them. This brings us to the Firebird. I love this car. It was a dream of mine to own one of these cars, and Mary Pat made it come true. Another reason that this car is so special to me is the lady I got it from. She's like my second mom now. We talk to her all the time. We're gonna go visit her shortly in Oregon. She has a couple more trucks that I'm interested in that I need in my yard. I mean, I don't have enough of them here currently, so we're gonna go back and see her. But this car is awesome. We do little upgrades on it here and there just to make it more awesome, make it more user-friendly and drivable. We got some stuff coming in the future. We're gonna 4-link the rear end and take the leaf springs out to give it a better ride, make the rear end so I can adjust the suspension a little bit so the tires don't rub the fenders. The motor is tired in the old girl. It needs some love, so we're gonna address that. We're gonna make it so we can cruise it. So we got a cruise plan next summer with Chad's Fab. We're gonna go drive some old cars, a couple thousand miles. That car's one I plan to drive, so we're gonna make it so it's ready to rock and reliable. My favorite thing about this car is when you're driving it down the road and everybody stares at you. They look at it, they all point, they wanna know what it is and if it's all original and all the things. I like driving it just for the attention that it gets when we're driving it. So we didn't really go to Oregon to get this car. We were going to get the old 42 Chevy, but this car was there and it worked out. She showed us the car, we made a deal on it, and me and Michelle got to drive this thing home, so it was pretty awesome. This truck here, this is the reason we went to Oregon and we were able to find the Firebird. Mary Pat emailed us, said that she had a project that her husband had started that he wasn't able to finish before he passed away, wondered if we were interested in getting it and finishing it. She sent me some pictures and I'm like, man, I have parts for that truck. I could do that. So we went up, we got the truck from her, and it's morphed into a bunch of different things. And hey, shop kitty. We're currently turning it into basically a drag truck. It's gonna be a driver drag truck when we're done with it. You'll be able to rip it down the road to Orderville. Still gonna be street legal, but it's gonna run 10s. Currently, we have a motor that Merlin pieced together out of junk parts, but it's the motor that won't give up. We've overheated it numerous times. We've tried to blow it up so we could put a good motor in it, and it just keeps running. So we might have to just pull it out and put it in something else to get rid of it. But this winter, we've got plans for this truck. We're putting a new subframe under the front. We're putting a blown 383 in it. We're putting a trans with a trans brake in it. Putting a roll cage in it. A bigger radiator to keep it cool. Some go fast parts. Maybe a little spray action. We don't know yet. Whatever will get us into the 10-second bracket, that's what we're gonna put into it. So comment, tell us if you guys like race car stuff, because I've never done race car stuff. I know I can build off-road stuff, done that my whole life. I've never built go fast cars, and I wanna try it. I wanna see if I can do it, see if I like it. I've never even been real fast, so see if I'm good at it.
I don't like this idea, one single bit.
I mean, my arm's basically healed up. I'm fairly much ready for another crash.
Let's give people an update.
Yeah, it's good.
It's still scarred.
Well, my arm feels pretty good. I mean, you know when to stop, it hurts, so that's what I do. Favorite thing about this truck is the burnouts that it will do. It will just eliminate tires. The old Packard. This is Michelle's favorite car. Me and her and Merlin and Chad, we spent 39 hours in this thing straight together. When we took the yellow submarine back to Georgia to the rightful owners of it, we needed a ride home because we gave the car that we had to Derek, Vice Grip Garage. So the only likely thing that we could do was buy this old car from him and drive it home. So that's what we did. Michelle was only good for 39 hours, and then she made me get a motel room and sleep for a few. I bought this old Jewel from Derek at Vice Grip Garage. He said that it was the only car that he knew that he had that would make it all the way back to Utah. He was not wrong. We had to work on it a few times. 250 gallons of fuel, I think, is what it took us to get here. We drove for 39 hours straight. Michelle gave up on us and got us a motel room. We slept in Flagstaff and then drove the rest of the way home the next day. It was a good time. I have good plans for this car, so I got another one. if you'll think back a few videos, I got one from Hunter's dad. The same car, but a 4-door. So I'm gonna cut all the good parts out of it, put them in this one, fix the rust holes in it, probably fix the fuel system in it. I may even take the 9mm wrench off the alternator and put a real bracket on it one of these days. But currently it's just like the way it was when we drove it home. My favorite thing about this car is the memories that were made for 39 hours straight in it. There was good memories had in this car, so it was good to go out and meet Derek. He's a really good dude. What you see is what you get with that guy, which is the kind of people I like to hang out with. Plus, he's got some cool old cars hanging around, and I like looking at old cars, so. On to the 55 Chevy. You guys have seen this in the background of the last few videos. She runs, she drives, life is good. I'm gonna show you that, but not today. Today, we're just gonna walk you through what we got here. So, we got this car from one of you guys as well. This one was an email, got sent to us. Hey, I have this car, wonder if you're interested in it. I'm not gonna get time, or not gonna have time to work on it and finish it. Needs a new home. I instantly called the guy and I'm like, hey, this is on like a Saturday. I'm like, you gonna be there on Monday? We'll come and get it. Loaded Hunter and Sean and old Benny Hanna. We didn't take a trailer with us. We just drove down there in hopes that we could make this car run and drive home. And we did, got it home. Car's awesome. It's a one-owner car. It's super straight, very little rust in it, and we've turned it into something pretty spectacular. It's basically a 2018 Camaro at this point, and it is fast. It makes you smile every time you push on the gas and shift the gears. It is a good time. I can't wait to show you guys how fast it really is. We'll load Grandma and Michelle and maybe Grammy up in it and go take them for a proper rip. I really don't think Grammy's ever ridden in a fast car. Let me walk you through what it is. It's a 1955 Chevy car that we've taken the motor, transmission out of. We put them in a car that we gave away last weekend at the car show. We gave away a 52 Chevy car. After motor and tranny were out of this, I found a 2018 Camaro motor and transmission that I plucked into this thing. We put some custom A-arm coilover suspension under the front. We built a custom 4-link suspension with a 4.9-inch in the back. We had Adams build us a sweet drive shaft we threw in there. That combination is awesome. It runs, drives flawlessly. We still got some air conditioning stuff to tidy up. We got some interior work to do. We have some paint. I know, I said paint.
Actual paint.
Actual, real live, out of a gun, not a rattle can kind of stuff, is gonna go on this car, and then I'm gonna burn the wheels off of it. That's the plan. All right, we had to come inside for this one. So this is my boy Jace's Dodge Dakota. This little truck was fun. Kind of near and dear to my heart as well, because my first real rock crawler that I built was a Dodge Dakota. So a lot of these parts that we put on this, running gear, bumpers, rock sliders, were off of my truck. The transmission is out in it. I know you guys are surprised, transmission problems here. This is one of the transmissions that we got hosed on. A company, we paid them to build 4 transmissions. This is the only one that actually worked for 2,000 miles now. It's dead currently. So we took it out. I ran it to Tip Top Transmission this week up in Salt Lake. They're putting it together. They've done a bunch of trannies for me lately. They're all flawless. I like Ross, he's a good dude. Basically, by next week, this will be running, driving again. He'll be back to doing things in it again. We plan on bobbing the bed on this truck. He's smashed the taillight. This is why you bob the bed, because the back of these trucks hangs over a ways, takes all the abuse. So we're gonna cut this bed off right there, move it up so that the tailgate is right here somewhere. So we've got plans for it. We just gotta make it happen. Basically, whenever he's ready to do it, we'll do it, because it's his truck, not mine, and I'll teach him how to do it. On to Landon's truck. If you'll remember, this truck started its life out as a 2-wheel drive dually long bed. It's come a long ways into the short bed, step side, cool truck that it is currently. As you can see, it's parked out here, not being driven as well. I'll bet you can't guess why. Transmission. When we built this truck, we used a junkyard motor, we used a junkyard transmission, all unknown to us. Well, the motor let loose on it. The lifters went flat. We rebuilt the motor. Shortly after we put some horsepower in the motor, the transmission let loose on it. We also have that transmission up to Tip Top. They're gonna get it built. We'll get it back in here. With any luck, next week, we'll have 2 of these trucks up and running. So Land just has plans to paint this truck. I think he wants to 4-link the front eventually to make it ride a little better. He just enjoys driving it. It works really good. It does all the things we need it to. Just a good old square body. This car, you seen us pick it up a few weeks ago. My boy Jace, he has fallen in love with this car. So we've decided we're gonna turn it into a budget hot rod. We're gonna try to make the old 360 run that's in it. We're gonna put some fuel injection on it, some exhaust, fix some of the stuff that's not quite right. Probably put a Holly dash in it because they've butchered the dash in it. But this is one of the upcoming projects that we're gonna try to knock out in a couple of episodes, have the car back on the road, running, driving, doing burnouts. That's the plan for this one. How long it'll be in our fleet, yet to be determined how much we like it and how reliable it is. All right, you guys will remember the old square body Chevy 4-door that we picked up. We've got plans for this. We're gonna turn this into a short bed, 4-wheel drive with a Cummins in it. I have a 05 Super Duty frame that we're gonna set all of this stuff on top of. That way we already got good running gear. Everything's there for the diesel. Hopefully the diesel tank, everything will work. And we'll drop the 12 valve in it and set this cab on, put some new body panels on it, make this thing run and drive and look awesome. Not gonna put a super big lift. I'm thinking like 37s, probably be good on it. Gonna happen next year sometime. Michelle's Jeepster. This is wintertime project. We get Onx over with, the Jeepster's coming in the shop. We'll be building a 65 truck and a Jeepster side by side. This thing, we got lots of body work left on it. Rockers are in it. We got a lot of grinding, a lot of finish welding inside, and then we got to set it on that frame. So a lot of work to do, which I'm not scared of work. We'll get it done. I just want it to be good because it's for Michelle. It's going to be nice. This one's going to be a pretty cool rig when we get it all finished. All right, this brings us to one of my favorite projects of all time. I love this truck. I love everything it stands for. My wife gave it to me. It's super fun to drive. It does cool burnouts, and we're just gonna make it better. So we got the front suspension done. I have boxes of parts. There's a supercharged 408 that needs to get all put together and go in this. We were gonna go twin turboed, but I like the drivability aspect of supercharger better. Some say yes, some say no. That's what I'm putting in it. It should be plenty of horsepowers for this thing. So I'm thinking two-tone paint job, green and white. Probably gonna need a new bed for it. I gotta find the right company that makes a good bed for these things. This bed is tons of work and I'm not down with all of the work that that's gonna take. So we'll probably get a bed. It's gonna have an overdrive transmission, 4L80, lots of horsepower to go with it. We've built the rear end. It's currently right there. I got it all put together, 4 9-inch, 355 gears with a posi, 35 spline axles. It's good. We're gonna cut the little back window out of it, put a big back window in it so that you can see out and it's way cooler. Big back windows in that box. We have got some sweet parts I've been accumulating over the past 6-7 months. Little here, little there, till I got enough that I think I can go back to work on it. Finally got all of the suspension parts for the rear. You'll see me do that real quick. We'll get it setting where it needs to, strip the frame, sandblast it, and paint the frame. I got lots to get done on that. It's gonna take me a while, but we're gonna get it done and push through it and make it run and drive. So on to the next project. We're in the cars. Brought you down here to show you future projects. The bus. The bus is gonna be pretty cool. I wanna get it done next year. The bus is gonna be a monster truck. It's gonna hopefully do jumps and donuts and those kinds of things. Diesel powered, couple of big nasty turbos hanging out of the hood. That's the idea with that one. Let me step you over to the short bed 2-wheel drive Chevy. I wanna build a drift truck out of this one. No inner fender wells, steering that turns really sharp, high horsepower turbo motor that does cool things. It's in the future somewhere. I don't know where that falls, but somewhere in the future. Next to it is another 65 Chevy truck. You can't just have one 65 truck. You need a lowrider 2-wheel drive and you need a 4-wheel drive. This one's gonna be my 4-wheel drive version. I'm gonna hopefully set it on a Super Duty frame, make it linked front and rear so it's nice. kind of like the Onx build. So it just drives down the road, looks good, runs good, does all those things. The Toyota Crown. The 69 Toyota Crown wagon that's screaming for a blower hanging out of the hood and a burnout car. That's what this is gonna be. That's what we're gonna make out of it. Next year, maybe. We'll see how the year flies. But that's a burnout car, and it's gonna be cool when it's done. We're on to the old Studebaker Champ. This truck is going to be a race truck. I know when you look at this, you see race car. That's what I see. We're gonna set this body on a 2008, I think, Crown Victoria. Pluck it out, set it right on top of it, and put a little turb ski on the Crown Vic, make it run good, and go race lemons with it. That is the game plan for this thing. Just a road racer, just something fun, ridiculous, just oddball, good times. We're moving right along in the junkyard. We are to the Cornet, right there. What you're looking at here is a 1966 four-speed car. Well, it has a clutch in it, has a pedal in it. I think it was originally an automatic, but someone's put a pedal in it. The car's pretty rust-free. It's pretty clean. I put a dent in it. I feel dumb about that. I'll fix that. All right, so we're thinking gasser, zip tie drags next year. We'll put a twin turboed LS in here just to piss people off because it's a Mopar. And see if it does burnouts and goes fast. That's basically what we need to do. That's the plans for the Cornet. I have two of these little trucks, two little Toyotas. They're both extended cabs. They've both been bobbed. I think my plan for these is I have Super Duties for them. I think we're gonna build one of them leaf sprung and one of them coilovers, or probably Orties because coilovers suck. So I'll put ORIs on one, little 5.3s in them. We'll go have a little wheeling competition. And then I'll probably give both of those things away. A guy can't have all this stuff and store it, and you guys are gonna benefit from it. You guys will remember the old trusty square body Chevy. You should go ahead and leave in the comments of this video if I should resurrect this old truck. Should I put a motor in it, make it run and drive again? Or should I just let it rot away? Let us know. All right, guys, right here in this old oak tree is the original Towmater truck. We used to have the wrecker bed that was on my tow truck, which was originally my dad's tow truck, right here on this bed. So what I'm thinking, I still have the bed, I saved it. I think I'm gonna go ahead and set it back on this truck, make this truck run and drive, do cool things. It's gonna be backup tow truck. I have this old Pontiac Le Mans up here. Oh, it's a Bonneville, sorry. It's a 428 Bonneville. This is zip tie drag worthy. I think we're gonna drag some stuff down there next year and blow it up like everybody else does and have a good time. We're gonna put some dumb motor in here that costs a whole lot of nothing with some power adders and see what she'll do. How many of you guys would want to watch an OG Toyota get built with a 22R, 5-speed, all that original stuff? Just make it run and drive and see what we can do with it. I think I'm down for it. Jay's drug this Dodge Dakota home. 2-wheel drive, blown up motor. He has high hopes of building a race car out of this one. I don't know what he's gonna do with it. Not mine, but it's a cool project. And I'm behind anything that's fun to build. We got lots of stuff to build this next year. Probably don't have enough time to get half of what we want to get done, but I guarantee we're gonna have a good time trying. See what we can get done. Hopefully some of it will get done. We've built lots of stuff in 4 years. Each one of these is my favorite one for certain things. If I'm pulling someone out, the tow truck's my favorite. If I'm hauling stuff, the Ratback's my favorite. If I want to probably walk home, the free truck's my favorite. They're all my favorite for different things, different reasons. I love them all, and I can't wait to see what we can build in the next 4 years. We really greatly appreciate you guys watching our channel and buying our merch and supporting us. We really appreciate it, and I hope you guys enjoy looking at my cars that I built over the last 4 years. So thanks for watching.